Let's get right down to it. The first one, the mouth. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. Think about the most powerful tool you own. It's not your strength. It's not your intellect. It's that thing right there between your teeth. You walk around with it every single day, and most of the time, you let it run wild, like a motor with no one at the wheel. You think words are just air, sound vibrations that disappear into nothing. But I'm here to tell you, you are wrong. Dead wrong. Your words are not just reactions, they are architects. They are the carpenters and the masons of your reality. They build the house you live in. Every single word is a brick. You can either build a mansion of respect and opportunity, or you can build a prison of regret and isolation, one brick at a time. I see it all the time. A man gets a little frustrated, a little hot under the collar, and he lets fly a sharp word to his wife, a cutting remark to his child, a sarcastic comment to a colleague. And in that moment, he feels powerful. He feels like he's released the pressure. But what has he really done? He's just laid a brick, a cracked, ugly brick of resentment. He comes back later with an apology. I didn't mean it. I was just in a mood. But the brick is still there. The wall is now one layer higher. And you keep doing that day after day. And you wake up one morning and you're standing in a room you built yourself. And you can't see the sun anymore. And you wonder why you feel so alone. You wonder why people don't trust you. You built that with your own mouth. And it's not just in anger. It's the carelessness, the gossip. That little whispered conversation by the water cooler. Did you hear about so and so? You think it's harmless. You think it's just passing the time. But you are painting a picture of your own character with every syllable. You are telling the world, I am small. I am untrustworthy. My currency is the failure of others. You think people don't see that. They see it. They make a note of it. And when opportunity comes, when a promotion is on the line, or a real partnership, they will look at you and they will think, can I trust this person with something important? And the answer, because of all those little bricks you've laid, will be no. This is where it connects, you see. This is where the mouth meets the mood. You have a bad day, something doesn't go your way, and that mood, that temporary feeling wants to take over. It wants to use your mouth as its loudspeaker. It wants to complain, to blame, to lash out. And if you let it, you have failed the first great test of discipline. You have allowed a temporary storm to cause permanent damage. You have become a passenger in your own life, letting the weather of your emotions dictate your destination. Control your mood, and you give yourself a fighting chance to control your mouth. And what about the words you speak to yourself? This might be the most important part. That quiet voice in your head when you look in the mirror. You're not good enough. You're going to fail. Who do you think you are? You let that run. That's the most dangerous leak of all. Because those words, they don't just build a wall, they lay the foundation for your entire existence. They become the script for your life. If you tell yourself you're broke, you'll never make a smart decision with your money. If you tell yourself you're a failure, you'll never have the courage to seize an opportunity. Your mind believes what your mouth tells it, even if it's you doing the talking. So what's the answer? It's not about never speaking, it's about installing a filter. A moment of pause between the thought and the word. It's about taking that split second, that breath, and asking yourself 3 simple, powerful questions. Is it TRE, not what you feel, not what you suspect, but is it objectively, verifiably true? Does it build up, or does it tear down? Does it heal, or does it wound? And finally, is it necessary? Does this need to be said? Does it need to be said by me? Does it need to be said by me right now? If it passes through those 3 gates, then let it out. Let it out with power and conviction. A word of encouragement to a struggling friend. That is necessary. A clear, truthful assessment in a business meeting. That is necessary. A loving word to your family. That is the most necessary thing of all. That kind of speech builds a legacy. It forges bonds that cannot be broken. It commands a room not through volume, but through respect. Your mouth is your first line of defense and your most powerful weapon in the battle for self-mastery. Don't you dare leave it on safety. Don't you dare let it fire randomly. discipline it, train it, respect its power, because the world you live in tomorrow will be built with the words you choose to speak today. So we've talked about the mouth. We know that thing is a loaded weapon, but what's pulling the trigger? What is it that makes that weapon go off when we least expect it, causing all that collateral damage we just talked about? It's the mood, that sudden storm cloud that rolls in, that slow burning fuse of frustration, that wave of anxiety that comes out of nowhere. Now, listen to me closely on this, because this might be the most seductive lie we tell ourselves. We believe that our mood is who we are. We say, I am angry, I am depressed, as if that temporary weather system is the entire climate of our soul. And that, right there, is the trap. That's when you become a passenger. You hand over the keys to your entire life to a feeling that will be gone in an hour, a day, a week. You ever see a little kid? They're the perfect example. 1 minute, they're in the depths of despair because their ice cream fell on the ground. The whole world is ending. Tears, screaming, the works. 5 minutes later, they're laughing, chasing a butterfly, pure joy. They haven't learned to cling to the mood yet. They feel it fully, and then they let it pass. Somewhere along the way, we unlearn that. We decide that if we feel it, we have to own it. We have to live in it. We have to let it drive the car. And that is a dangerous way to live. Think about it. You wake up, the weather's bad, you spill your coffee, and a mood settles on you. A gray, grumpy mood. And you take that mood to work. You snap at the barista, you're short with your assistant. You send that email, you know the one you have to apologize for later, all because you let the mood of a spilled coffee dictate your professional conduct. You let a $2 problem cost you respect, credibility, and relationships. That's a bad investment. That's letting a pebble derail the entire train. This is where it connects to everything else. A bad mood doesn't just stay a feeling. It goes shopping, it becomes reckless spending, trying to fill that empty feeling with a new watch, a new dress, some new gadget. That's your money flying out the window because you didn't control your mood. A bad mood hijacks your mind. It fills it with a running commentary of negativity. Oh, I can't, and it's not fair, and why even try? It silences the voice of reason and amplifies the voice of fear. And worst of all, it takes control of your mouth. It puts the words in your mouth that you can never, ever take back. The words that build those prisons we talked about. So what's the answer? You think I'm going to tell you to never feel anything? To be some kind of robot? No, that's not it. That's suppression, and that's just as dangerous. Suppressed anger becomes bitterness. Suppressed sadness becomes despair. That's not control. That's just building a dam that's going to break. Control is not about not feeling. It's about creating a space, a gap, a moment, a choice between the feeling and the action. It's the difference between being the storm and being the lighthouse that stands firm in the middle of the storm. It's in that gap that your power lies. That's the moment you take back the wheel. The feeling hits, the anger, the anxiety, the self-pity, and instead of letting it just become a behavior, you pause, you breathe. And you ask yourself one critical question. Is this feeling serving me, or am I serving it? Is this anger going to help me solve this problem, or is it just going to create new ones? Is this anxiety protecting me from anything real, or is it just holding me hostage? This is the practice. This is the discipline. It's in that small, quiet space that you decide who you are. You are not your mood. You are the one who observes the mood. You are the sky, and the mood is just the weather passing through. When you understand that, truly understand it in your bones, you become unshakable. People will wonder how you stay so calm when everything is falling apart. They'll think you're lucky. They won't understand that it's not luck. It's a relentless, daily practice of taking ownership of your inner world. So the next time that wave of emotion comes, and it will come, don't be swept away. Plant your feet, breathe, create that gap, and in that moment of choice, choose the response that aligns with the person you want to be, not the temporary feeling you're having. Your mood is a visitor, not the landlord of your life. So stop letting a temporary guest redecorate your entire house. Now we come to the one everybody feels in their pocket. The one we whisper about, argue about, lose sleep over. Money. We've got to talk about this, because most of us, we've got it all backwards. We see it as the scorecard. We see it as the goal. We think if we just had more of it, all our problems would vanish. So we chase it, we work for it, we stress over it. But I want you to understand something fundamental, something that will change your entire relationship with this thing. Money is not the prize. Money is a tool. Nothing more, nothing less. It is a hammer. And you can either use that hammer to build a house of security and freedom, or you can use it to break the windows of your own future. Let me tell you what I see. I see people who are slaves to a number in their bank account. I see a man who gets a raise, and what does he do? He doesn't build a foundation. He doesn't reinforce the walls. He goes and gets a new car payment that strangles that new income before it even has a chance to breathe. He upgrades his lifestyle to match his ego, not his reality, and he becomes a more expensive version of a slave, because now he needs that job he hates. He has to tolerate that disrespectful boss. He can't walk away. He can't take a risk. He can't breathe, because his own upgraded lifestyle has him by the throat. That's not power. That's a gilded cage. This is where the mood and the money, they hold hands in the dark. You have a bad day, feeling low, unappreciated. That mood goes shopping. It's called retail therapy for a reason, but it's the worst kind of therapy there is. It's an anesthetic. It numbs the pain for about as long as it takes to tear open the box. Then you're left with the same emptiness, plus a credit card bill that's gonna scream at you at the end of the month. You're trying to solve an emotional problem with a financial solution, and it never, ever works. You're just digging the hole deeper, using your own money as the shovel. And what about your mind? What's the story you tell yourself about money? I'm just bad wicked. There's never enough. Your mouth speaks that, your mind believes it, and your reality conforms. That's a self-fulfilling prophecy of lack. That mindset of scarcity will have you making fearful, small decisions. You'll be so afraid of losing what little you have that you'll never risk it to build something greater. You'll cling to pennies while dollars fly past you. You have to control your mind to tell a new story, a story of stewardship, of capability. I am the kind of person who commands my finances. I am the kind of person who understands how this tool works. So what does control look like? It's not about being cheap. It's not about denying yourself every joy. It's about intentionality. It's about telling your money with brutal clarity where it is going to go, instead of getting to the end of the month and wondering where the hell it went. It starts with the simplest, most powerful word in the English language: no. No, I will not buy that right now. No, my mood does not get a vote in this financial decision. No, I will not keep up with someone else's illusion. You start small. You track it. Every single dollar. You look that truth right in the eye, and you don't flinch. You see the leaks, you see the waste, you see the emotional spending. And then you make a plan, a simple plan. You pay yourself first, not your landlord, not the car company, not the restaurant. You take a piece of every single dollar you earn, and you put it to work for your future freedom. You invest in your peace of mind. That money becomes your army, working for you while you sleep. It becomes your go-to-hell fund, the money that gives you the power to walk away from a situation that is no longer worthy of you. That is what financial control really is. It's not about the number. It's about the power that number represents. The power to choose. The power to say yes to an opportunity without panic. The power to provide security for your family. The power to sleep soundly at night, not because you're rich, but because you are not afraid of a piece of paper. You are the master of the tool. You are the builder. You are not the hamster on the wheel, running faster and faster just to stay in the same place. Stop letting a tool you are meant to command become the master you are forced to obey. We've talked about the mouth, the mood, the money, but all of it, every single bit of it, is born in one place. It's the command center. It's the control room. It's the fertile ground where everything else either grows strong or gets choked out by weeds. I'm talking about the mind. This right here, he taps his temples slowly, deliberately. This is the battlefield. The most important fights you will ever fight. The fights for your character, your peace, your future. They don't happen out there in the world. They happen in here, in the quiet, in the dark, where no one else can see. Most people, they treat their mind like a public park. They let anybody and everybody just wander in and out. They let the news dump its garbage there. They let negative people come in and have a picnic, leaving their trash of doubt and criticism all over the grass. They let every fear, every anxious thought, every what if just set up a tent and make itself at home. And then they wonder why they feel so crowded, why they can't find any peace, why they can't hear their own voice anymore. You have to understand this: your mind is not a public park. It is a sacred private garden, and you are the gatekeeper. You are the gardener. You decide what gets planted, what gets watered, and what gets pulled out by the roots. Think about the thoughts that run through there on a loop. You're not smart enough. You're going to fail. They're all laughing at you. You'll never get out of debt. Now ask yourself, would you let a stranger walk into your living room and talk to your children like that? Would you let someone whisper those lies to someone you love? Then why in the world do you let that stranger have a microphone in your own mind? Those thoughts, they aren't facts. They are seeds. And if you water them with your attention, if you give them sunlight by dwelling on them, they will grow. They will become a forest so thick and so dark that they block out all the light. They will become the reality you live in, a reality built on a foundation of lies you agreed to believe. This is where it all connects. A mind left untended, filled with weeds of fear, is what creates a volatile mood. It's what sends you looking for an escape in reckless spending. It's what puts the sharp, defensive, hurtful words on the tip of your tongue. An undisciplined mind is the root of all the other dysfunctions. It's the leak in the hull of the ship. You can bail out the water from the other compartments all day long, but if you don't patch the leak at the source, you're going to sink. So, what do? You go to war for your own attention. You become a ruthless editor of the content that comes in. You guard that gate. You ask yourself about the music you listen to, the shows you watch, the people you spend your time with. Are they planting flowers in your garden, or are they dumping trash? You have to be that deliberate. You have to be that vigilant. This isn't about positive thinking. This is about intentional thinking. This is about pulling the weeds and planting new seeds on purpose. Seeds of I am capable. Seeds of I have overcome hard things before, and I will do it again. You feed it with truth. You feed it with knowledge. You read the books that challenge you. You listen to the wisdom that builds you up. You fill the space with so much light that the darkness doesn't have anywhere to settle. This is the most important work you will ever do. It's silent work. It's unseen work. No one is going to give you a trophy for winning a battle in your mind. But the reward is that you become the calm in the storm. The reward is that when a crisis hits, your mind doesn't panic. It assesses, it problem solves, it finds a way. The reward is that the voice in your head becomes your greatest ally, your most trusted coach, instead of your most vicious critic. Your external world is nothing more than a reflection of your internal state. If you want to change your life, you have to first change your mind. The battlefield is between your ears. Victory is won the moment you decide to take command of the territory you've been neglecting your whole life. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, all right, I get it. Mouth, mood, money, mind. 4, separate things to work on. And if you think that, you're missing the whole point. You're looking at the engine and seeing a bunch of separate parts lying on the garage floor. I'm here to tell you these 4, they are not separate. They are a system. A perfectly interconnected domino effect chain reaction system. And if you don't understand how they work together, you will never master any of them. One weak link doesn't just weaken itself, it puts a strain on the entire chain until something else snaps. Let me paint you a picture. It's a Tuesday. You wake up, and the first thing that happens is in your mind, a thought. A small, anxious thought about a meeting you have later. This is going to be a disaster. You let that thought sit. You water it. Now that thought, that weed in your mind, begins to affect your mood. You get out of bed irritable, anxious. The world feels heavy. That mood, that cloud over your head, now takes control of your mouth. You snap at your partner over breakfast. a harsh word, a brick in the wall. Now you've left the house. Your mind was clever, mood is sour, your relationship is strained, so you get in your car and what do? You stop for an expensive coffee you don't need. You buy something online just to feel a little spark of pleasure. You try to spend your way out of a bad feeling. Your money becomes a casualty of your uncontrolled mind and mood. See that? One leak in the mind flooded the mood, which overflowed into the mouth, which then drained your bank account. It's a cascade. A failure in one area is never contained. It's a virus, and it will spread to every other part of your life. But listen to me. This is the most important part. This isn't just a story of failure. This is also the blueprint for your victory. Because this system works in reverse. This domino effect can be a chain reaction of power. If you strengthen one link, it fortifies the others. You can use a disciplined mind to calm a volatile mood. When you feel that anger rising, you can use the power of your mind, that gatekeeper, to observe it, to create that gap, and choose not to let it become a word or an action. You can use financial peace, knowing your bills are paid, your future is being invested in, to create a foundation of mental calm. That security in your bank account quietens the anxiety in your mind. When your mind is not frantic about survival, it has the space to be creative, to be strategic, to be wise. You can use the controlled words of your mouth to reprogram your mind. You speak victory, you speak gratitude. You speak clarity, even when you don't feel it, and your mind starts to believe it. It starts to lay a new foundation. Your words become the seeds you plant in the garden of your mind. You can use a positive mood, one you've consciously chosen, to make brilliant financial decisions. When you're feeling strong and optimistic, you don't make desperate, fearful bets or seek empty retail therapy. You make calm, powerful, strategic moves with your money. This is the master key. You don't have to have 4 perfectly locked down at once. You just have to be strong enough in one area to support the one that's struggling. If your mood is slipping, lean on the discipline of your mind. If your mind is getting cluttered, use the security of your finances to give you peace. If your money is tight, use the power of your mouth to speak faith and opportunity, and use the control of your mood to avoid the desperate, emotional decisions that will make it worse. They are a team, your internal team, and you are the coach. You see which player is getting tired, which one is getting beaten, and you send in strength from another position. You don't let one weak player lose the whole game for you. You must stop seeing these as separate battles and start seeing them as a single, integrated campaign for the soul of your life. So we come to the end of it, the ultimate question: why? Why do this? Why wage this daily internal war? Why bother with the filter on your mouth, the leash on your mood, the budget for your money, the gate around your mind? Is it just to be a little more efficient, a little less stressed? Is it just to have a nicer, tidier, more manageable prison? No, it is for this one thing and this one thing only: freedom, real freedom. Not the freedom you see on a bumper sticker, not the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want. That's not freedom, that's adolescence. That's being a slave to your every impulse, a puppet on the strings of your own untamed desires. The freedom I'm talking about is the freedom that comes from total self-possession. It's the freedom of being the one, the only one, who gets to decide what your life is going to be about. When you control your mouth, you are free from regret. You are free from the damage of words you can never take back. You are free to speak with power and truth, to build people up, to command a room, not by being the loudest, but by being the one whose words have weight and meaning. That is freedom. When you control your mood, you are free from being manipulated. You are free from allowing a bad morning to ruin your entire day, or a negative comment from a stranger to derail your purpose. No one can press your buttons because you've disconnected the wires. You stand in the center of your own calm, regardless of the storm swirling around you. That is a power so profound, most people will never know what it feels like. When you control your money, you are free from fear. You are free from the cold sweat in the middle of the night. You are free to walk away from a job that is killing your spirit because you have built a bridge with your savings. You are free to take a chance on a dream because you have an army of resources at your back. Your money becomes a tool for liberation, not a chain that binds you to a life you hate. And when you control your mind, when you evicted the toxic tenets of fear and self-doubt, and you have planted a garden of clarity and purpose, you are free from the greatest tyranny of all, the tyranny of your own thoughts. You are free to choose your own reality. You are free to author your own story, instead of just being a character in a story someone else is writing for you. This is the ultimate goal. This is the mountaintop. It's not about being perfect. It will be a fight every single day. That mood will still rise up. That careless word will still try to jump off your tongue. That foolish purchase will still whisper your name. That destructive thought will still try to knock on the door of your mind. The victory is not in the absence of the challenge. The victory is in the repetition of the choice. The victory is in looking that impulse in the eye, and with all the strength you built from mastering these 4 domains, you say, no, not today. You do not own me. Well, this is how you build an empire, not of land or of wealth or of followers, but an empire of self, a sovereign nation of one, with borders that are secure, with a constitution written by your values, and a leader who is unwavering, principled, and free. The world will try to define you, limit you, and break you. But when you have built this empire within, they no longer have that power. You have taken it back. You've become the master of your own destiny. So I'm not asking you to be disciplined. I'm inviting you to be free.